Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the American Nightmare Podcast. This is episode 46, recorded January 27th, 2022.
Happy
We're all
New
fancy
Year.
tonight.
Yes, very nice. I think what I'll have to do with this new studio is add our track into it for our...
Oh, so we can hear it right while we're waiting
so we can hear it
to
live
fade in?
rather than editing it in.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, let's start off with some horror news.
Sounds like a good idea.
Morbius has been delayed to April 1st, 2022.
That doesn't bode well.
No. Now, there's been a couple rumors as to why it's been pushed back. One of them is, Spider-Man Far From Home is on such a run, making so much money that they wanted to give it a chance to make even more money.
That's fair.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. The other thing I heard is that they're actually editing it because they're going to be adding in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Which is what the rumor was, and it looks like it may be true that the rumor is that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man will be the Sony Spider-Verse Spider-Man. So finally, we'll have a Spider-Man interacting with Venom and Morbius and all those other characters. Because one of the things that became very clear during Spider-Man No Way Home was that when, and I'm spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Spider-Man, which if you haven't seen it yet, you're a fucking idiot. But
Hey, come on now. Don't say that to our fans.
Here's a spoiler for it, is that during that movie, when the Green Goblin makes his way into the Marvel Spider-Man universe, the MCU, he says, hey, I tried to look for my son and I can't find him. I tried to look for Oscorp and it doesn't exist. And I was like, oh, all right. So Oscorp does not exist in the MCU, which means when you see the Morbius trailer and there's a Oscorp building in the background,
It's a different universe.
that's not the same universe. So how are they going to solve this problem? And now we've got the answer. Andrew Garfield is returning as Spider-Man for the Sony Spider-Man.
You know, I didn't see either one of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans because I still had a sour taste in my mouth from the last Tobey Maguire one. But I thought he was really good in No Way Home.
Let me just say, you should see the first
Was that the one with
Amazing
Jamie Foxx in
Spider-Man.
it?
That's the second one.
Oh, okay.
That's the one you don't want to see.
Yeah. that was
the
lovely.
only good reason to see the second one, really, it was a shit show of a movie. It was really trash. But the death of Gwen Stacy, which kind of gives you the idea why it was so awesome that Andrew Garfield caught MJ when she fell.
Okay.
Because when he tried to save Gwen Stacy, he used his web, and it caught her just as she was at the bottom of the ground, and she hit the ground and
Ooh.
broke her neck.
Ooh, jeez.
Which it was his fault that she died, more or less.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that's why he kind of teared up in that movie, because he managed to catch MJ without making the same mistake.
But the first one's good.
The first one's great. He's a good Spider-Man.
I thought he was good in Far From Home.
Yeah, it
or No
was
Way Home.
fantastic. Yeah, No Way Home was such a great movie. I went to see it 3 times, bro. Because it was
Damn.
so good. Yeah. Spider-Man director John Watts is going to be producing the new Final Destination trailer. They're relaunching Final Destination on HBO Max.
Oh, nice. That was a good series. I liked those movies. I thought the creative ways that they figured out how to like kill somebody who wasn't expecting it was great.
Yep. So he signed up as the producer for the title, which is just called Final Destination 6, is the project title name. He wrote a treatment of the story, and that'll be on HBO Max release. Laurie Evans Taylor and Guy Busick wrote Ready or Not, worked on the upcoming Scream reboot. They're also writing the screenplay for this new movie. So I'm excited. Final Destination 1 and 2 I liked. As it went on, it got a little...
Well, yeah, and
Right.
the guys who did Ready or Not, they wrote the new Scream movie, I think.
Nice.
They're like a collective of like 3 dudes, and they go by like some name. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just read that in the most recent Fangoria.
Nice. There's a trailer out for the new Foo Fighters horror movie.
That looks
Studio
really good.
666, yeah. And the greatest thing about this is the short story was originally written by Dave Grohl that they turned into a screenplay.
Really?
And is now being directed by B.J. McDonald.
The trailer definitely had like a Evil Dead kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
I'm kind of excited to see it.
Is it a horror comedy? I couldn't.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, horror comedy.
I thought so, but I was like, is it a horror comedy or is it just like,
Yep.
you know how Glenn Danzig made his first horror movie and it wasn't meant to be
Not
a horror
supposed to
comedy,
be a
but it was.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen King's Salem Lot. We previously talked about the fact that it's going to be rebooted, but now we've got some more details. Stephen King's Salem Lot stars William Sadler as the new Kurt Barlow. And there's an official release date. It's going to be released in September 9th.
Nice.
William Sadler, I think he's taking on the role of Barlow. I'm not sure if you know who William Sadler is. He played Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Okay.
This is in theaters, Sal, right? Going straight to theaters?
Yes. Yep. And I believe he also played, do you remember in the 1980s, early 90s, MTV did a weird little, like, promotional videos with a guy named Randy of the Redwoods.
Yeah, those are great. He was like a weird-ass hippie, but kind of slow-ish.
William Sadler.
Oh,
that's him.
now he was Randy
really?
the Redwoods, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard
Salem's
to tell
Lot is
that
a
what
great
he
class.
looked like, as Death and Bill and Ted's, but like, so he was
Yeah,
Randy of the Redwoods, huh? That's funny.
Yep.
That is funny.
Salem's Lot has a great cast that includes Louis Pullman, that's Bill Pullman's son, Richard Sadler, Bill Kemp, Spencer Treat Clark, John Benjamin Hickey, Mackenzie Lee, Alfred Wood, and more. It's going to be out soon, and the adaptation is going to be more akin to the book, so I'm very excited to see how this will look out. So apparently it's going to be in theaters September 9th, 2022,
Cool.
so looking forward to that.
Nice.
A new trailer out for The Cursed, and it looks freaking awesome. It's going to be in theaters February 18th. Little summary says, in the late 1800s, a man arrives at a remote country village to investigate an attack by a wild animal, but discovers a much deeper and sinister force that has the manor and its townspeople in its grips. It really looks great. You should think about checking out that trailer. I will post the trailer on our website, and I'll also put it up in Facebook so everyone can take a look.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It looks
trailer
really
yet.
good. It looks like there must be a werewolf. It looks like a werewolf or something is the attack creature, but it looks really
Sweet.
great.
Cursed.
Even the trailer had at least one jump scare in it. It was pretty freaking spooky.
Cursed, you said, right?
Yes. The Curse.
I like
The
that
Cursed.
time period as well.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 2 is now officially underway by New Line Cinema.
Nice. That was a great movie.
Yes. The writer of Marvel Disney Plus's Moon Knight series, Jeremy Slater, is going to pen this new title, Adventure into Outworld. So far, there are no details on to what is going to be in this story, but we do know that Jerry Slater is going to be writing this.
Yeah, I mean,
So
they
I'm very
kind of
excited
left
about that.
an open ending for the last one, so I would assume it would pick up where the last one left off.
Right.
I would hope.
And the thing is, in the first movie, there was no combat. The combat was not featured. The tournament was not featured in Mortal Kombat. So therefore, I'm hoping that they spend a little less time picking up the rest of the characters and a little more time, getting the Mortal Kombat tournament happening.
Yeah, we had no Johnny Cage yet.
Yes. I think that was where they left off. Was like we're going to find Johnny Cage in California. Umbrella Entertainment's website has now announced an H.P. Lovecraft collection Blu-ray, a collection of H.P. Lovecraft movies from 1985 to 2019. It's a 5-disc Blu-ray collection. It's going to retail for $99.95, and it's available for pre-order now. The 5-disc collection includes Reanimator, the unrated version,
Nice.
Bride of Reanimator, Beyond Reanimator, Dagon, and Color Out of Space, which is the most recent movie.
That was a good one.
Yes, very excited for that. Disney Plus has released a Moon Knight trailer,
Looks good.
and it looks like it's going to be the closest thing to a horror movie or horror show that we'll get from Disney Plus and Marvel. So far, it is the second highest viewed Disney Plus trailer since any Disney Plus show has been shown.
Of course.
The number one was 120 some odd million views, and that was because it premiered during the Super Bowl. That was the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. But now, in just the first week of this Moon Knight trailer, has over 26 million views.
It's called Moonlight?
Moon Knight.
Number 2.
Moon Knight.
Like the Green Knight or the Knights of the Round Table.
Right. Now, Moon Knight features Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight. And if you're not familiar with it, so Moon Knight is a character who has... what is it? It's not multiple personality disorders. That identity something disorder where he has multiple personalities. He has 3 or 4 I think in the comic book he's got like 5 personalities. Apparently in this show, from the trailer at least, it looks like there's going to be 3 personalities. But he is possessed or becomes the avatar of the Egyptian moon knight, the moon god, whatever the hell his name is. I can't remember. I'm not very familiar with the character. He has appeared in a bunch of Avengers series, and he's also appeared in some of the Midnight Suns shows, issues of the comic book. But like he was only like he would appear, he'd be part of something, and then be gone. And once or twice he fought Dracula. He fought with Blade a couple times, but I never like read any of his dedicated comic books.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the character. I'll check it out, but
the Guillermo del Toro thriller Nightmare Alley is coming to HBO Max and Hulu next month.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about that last week when we were waiting for you to come on.
Antlers is as well.
Yes,
they're both.
Yeah, Antlers is something I definitely want to see. That looks pretty good. And this Nightmare Alley looks like it might be.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch that one.
Let's see. The new movie Renfield, starring Nicolas Cage. A new article in Bloody Disgusting shows that Nicolas Cage has looked to Malignant and The Ring to inspire his new Dracula character. This new Renfield story is going to be a comedy horror.
Interesting.
It's going to be sometime at the end of the year. It looks like it's going to come out. It's comedy horror starring Nicolas Cage playing the character of Dracula in Renfield, which is described as a modern-day adventure story that is comedic in tone. Released by Universal Pictures.
Universal, huh?
Netflix, new Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, will feature John Larroquette to narrate the opening title, just like the 1974 classic film. John Larroquette narrated the opening title crawl.
Did not know that.
Yes, I was not aware of that either. And then I read this article in Variety magazine where they said John Larroquette was brought back for reading this title. John Larroquette, of course, famous from Night Court, a fantastic TV show from back in the 80s and early 90s.
Marky Post, right? Yeah.
Marky Post, my God.
Richard Mole?
Yeah. Let me tell
Harry
you something.
Anderson?
Marky Post from Night Court was definitely in my spank bank when I was a teenager.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
She was the old lady that smoked a lot of cigarettes, right?
No!
I was kidding. I'm kidding.
What are you, crazy?
I'm kidding.
First of all, the lady that smoked the cigarettes, she died during season 2 in real life. She actually passed away, and she was only in the first 2
I wonder
seasons.
where she died from.
Probably cancer, I would imagine. I don't know for sure, but the amount of smoking she did on that show, clearly reflected the amount of smoking she did in her life because of her voice.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so after nearly 50 years in hiding, Leatherface returns to terrorize a group of idealistic young friends who accidentally disrupt his carefully shielded world in a remote Texas town. That's the tagline for this new series. It looks like it's going to be pretty good.
Wait a minute, he spent 50 years in hiding?
Well, no, they said he was like trying to be good, like correct him, not.
But how the fuck old must he be?
Somebody poked the bear. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
If the original took place in the 70s, and he had to be like at least in his 20s.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's
Maybe
gonna have
he
a
was
hard time
maybe
He's
he was
pretty
a
wielding that
young.
chainsaw.
Remember the
Maybe he
one
was a teenager.
the one sequel where they showed him as a kid. So
Still though, 50. He's in hiding for 50 years.
Yeah. Well, he's at least 50, right? It's like
Will he be chasing teenagers with a
With
walker?
or in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Come back here.
Come back here,
how
you
old is Michael Myers though?
scoundrel.
Too, you could say the same for Michael Myers, right?
True.
Yeah. Well, I mean, has it been established that Leatherface is a supernatural horror?
I don't know. Has it? Not that I
No.
We
recall.
know that.
No,
we know that
because-
Michael Myers is, Jason is.
No,
and
he's
if
not
Leatherface
supernatural
isn't-
because the one movie showed him when he was a teenager. Remember?
Yep.
Or he
Yeah,
wasn't even a teenager
he's
yet,
just
right?
a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a normal kid.
They could get him and Bruce Campbell to fight each other.
Maybe.
That'd be funny.
All right. That's all I got. You guys got anything you want to talk about in horror-related news?
Sort of, but did you watch the first episode of Servant?
So,
Not
yes,
for the new season? No.
Yeah, me neither. Like I know
did.
it came out last week. Did you watch it?
I did.
Was it good?
It was
Creepy?
slow, just like
Off?
most first episodes start off a little slow. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to watch it, but I haven't gotten around to it. I just finished the newest season of The Witcher too, which is kind of.
I started season 2. No spoilers, please.
I finished season 2. I loved it.
It's got like a horror element, right? You could consider that because there's a lot of monsters in it.
Dude,
and a witch.
I loved it. It was so good.
Dude, I was so
This season
angry
was
during
so
that
good.
last episode. Like I just because that stupid like witch demon like had her possessed. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
stop killing
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good though. I really liked
was
this
good.
season,
It was very good. Yeah.
and I think they've already greenlit a third, right?
Yes. And the prequel's coming out this year too.
Nice. Yeah, that's all I have. I haven't really.
There was something on Netflix too. It's an animated Witcher, I think.
Oh, yeah, I
I
think
started
you're right.
watching it, but it
No good. No
didn't
bueno.
hold my interest.
No.
No bueno. Okay.
Yeah. I think I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, I'm not really. This doesn't work for me as an anime.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the top 5 this month. Now, the top 5 we're doing this month is the top 5 movies that we have reviewed in 2021.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, people. Come on.
We're
Getting
look
tough.
back on our 2021 shows, all of them that we've done, which we've got obviously 12 to choose from. Pick your top 5 of those and go from there.
We actually watched quite a few good movies though this past
Yeah,
year.
we did. We did.
A couple bad ones, but mostly good ones.
Yeah.
Yep. I had to look back on our shared spreadsheet to remember what we actually recorded.
Same here.
But yeah, I was able to look back on that and get a good list. I think we reviewed a lot of great stuff. So let's go ahead and this month we're going to do Chris, Craig, Sal.
Okay. It was the only thing about this was it was kind of tough because I didn't have any problem finding ones that I liked, but then trying to like put them in a category like like why I may have liked one more than the other. So these are my top 5, and
a lot of overlap on these.
and it's not a big difference between why I liked one more than the other. So it's top 5, but I liked them all pretty much. So. So number 5 was Mandy.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Thought it was a great movie. Nick Cage doing his thing.
Yep.
Number 4, The Golden Glove, which was just
That was a pleasant surprise for me. I'd never heard of it.
I don't know if it was pleasant. There was nothing about that movie that was
No,
pleasant.
but I mean,
Dude,
as far
I-
as-
an unpleasant
as far as the
surprise.
entertainment value and the yeah.
Oh yeah, and in fact, it was
I've
based off a
turned-
true story. Was
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
Yeah. I've turned so many people on to that movie. Like
It was
I've
a good
told tons of
find,
people
Chris.
to go
It was
see
a good find, I should say.
yeah. One of our listeners and my friend Sean, he's the one who told me we should check it out. So
Diamond in the rough. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because I do. I usually throw a dart at stuff, and I
it
never
was-
watch it before I bring it to the table. So
I felt so filthy after watching it though. Like I felt like I was stuck in that wall with all those corpse pieces and the
Ugh.
Christmas trees that he was hanging in there. All right, my number 3 was I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
okay.
That was just it was different from what we typically watch, and
Yep.
I thought the acting was amazing, the story was cool, and then just at the end trying to piece together what you watched. I really enjoyed that one. Number 2 for me was Malignant. Just a great James Wan. A little different from what he usually does, or you could say it was a bunch of different things crammed together into one movie.
Yeah.
The battle royal scene in the prison, like I think was what just put that movie over the top for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
And the fact that the villain in the movie was actually they hired a contortionist. It was like real life. It wasn't CGI. That was just so
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, a big bulk of that recording was actually that contortionist, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And then my number 1 is Come to Daddy. I just
Yeah.
thought that was so fun and
Yeah.
different, and it reminded me of a Quentin Tarantino movie, sort of, you know. And
Yeah.
Elijah Wood was great, and the storytelling was fun, and when that guy stuck him with that shit knife,
Oh.
there was just so much good about that movie. The only thing that I still can't figure out is he had that flaming crossbow in the trunk of his car. I'm like, all right, how the hell did he have a flaming crossbow in the trunk of his car?
Yeah.
Other than that, and again, there wasn't a whole lot of difference between these, but that one I think stuck out to me is, especially, it wasn't one I picked and I had been wanting to watch for a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
And when we finally decided to review that, I was so glad that we did, because
Yeah, I think that was the best one I picked last year too. I think,
Great
in my
movie.
opinion. But,
And I don't have any honorable mentions because we only had 10 to pick, 12 to pick from, so it's those 5.
I did the same thing. Yeah, no honorable mentions. Okay, my number 5, I went with Crawl.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not usually big on animal horrors, but I enjoyed that.
No, I'm the same way, and I was like, again, pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised, yeah.
Full of suspense.
I mean, it wasn't
No
the
doubt.
theaters; it had a big budget to it, and I just never.
Yeah, didn't Sam Raimi produce it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Number 4, I went with Golden Glove.
Nice. Same exact spot.
Yeah, same spot. My number 3 was Malignant.
Nice.
Number 2, I went with Come to Daddy. And my number 1 was Mandy.
Nice.
That
Very
one
good.
made not only number 1 it's like I want to put it in my top 10 of all times, I think.
Nice.
It's a
I don't
great
know.
film.
There's something about that movie that just spoke
It
to
is,
me.
yeah.
know.
It's captivating.
Yep.
Had a great cast, Richard Brake.
Yep.
Yeah, as whatever the hell his
It's
character was
just a
supposed to
totally
be.
different story and concept and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I liked
Yeah.
about it. The originality. It was a little trippy. It was
And it's
it
Nick
had a
Cage.
Nick Cage was good in it.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
My top 5. All right. My number 5 is I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It was unique.
Yeah. Great acting.
the-
The acting was phenomenal.
Yeah, the shifting of time was kind of wacky and different, and then the ending was shockingly horrific.
Yeah.
My number 4, Blood-Sucking Bastards.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, I love comedy horrors, and this one really takes the cake for comedy horror. And vampires, love vampires, so great.
Oh,
film.
that was the one where they set up the exorcisms, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it had the
no,
guy.
no, Blood-Sucking Bastards was the one where the vampires in the office building.
Yeah, it had the guy who played
Oh,
the
yeah,
Mandalorian.
guy from,
the Mandalorian was like the head
Mandalorian.
vampire
Yeah.
guy.
Yes,
Okay. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And it had Matthew Lillard in it briefly.
Yep.
Okay.
My number 3 was Crawl.
Nice.
Again, that one has a lot of suspense in it. It was kind of surprising that it was as good as it was.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah, produced by what's his face?
Sam
Raimi.
Raimi.
Mentioned Sam Raimi. It was a good movie. I liked it. It's one that when I went into it, I'm like,
Same here. Yeah, same here.
But then it was surprisingly very good.
Yeah, I didn't check the clock at all during that one.
Yeah, exactly. My number 2, The Golden Glove. Again, that was one of those kind of tossing a dart into nowhere, and this fucking diamond in the rough pops out. It's like, God damn! And it's not only just the sheer horror of what took place, and then realizing that it was all real. It really happened.
Yeah, because you guys watched the trailer. I mean, the credits at the end, and they said they showed
real footage.
footage, and
They showed real photos of the guy's apartment.
it's those damn Greeks downstairs with their smelly food.
Oh,
That's
man.
why it stunk.
They nailed it because I mean the set in the movie
Shot
looked
for shot, bro.
exactly like the
Shot for shot.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Dude, the worst was when they were sitting there eating dinner, and then all of a sudden the maggots fell through the freaking
Oh yeah.
hole.
No,
I
no.
was like, oh, it's so
No.
nasty.
No. The worst part of all was when he tried to fuck that hooker with a sausage.
And the term hooker needs to be used loosely because they were.
Yeah, old hag is what I should be saying. Tried to fuck an old hag with a sausage, and then she got the hot mustard out and rubbed it on his fucking dick. So that was.
Oh
that was
man,
just fucked up. That was one hell of a movie, man.
But he had all the booze. He had all that booze there. That's how he lured him back.
Oh yeah.
And then she didn't remember she stayed there too, like a knucklehead.
Yeah, she was there.
Get out of there, you know. It's like
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then my number one, Mandy.
Nice.
You know, Mandy was one of those movies I watched a couple years ago, and I kept telling you guys, this movie is something else, man.
Yeah.
It is something else. And the production company that sponsored that movie, that made that movie, is that production company that Elijah Wood is part of.
Oh yeah. He's. I've seen his name attached to a whole bunch of movies, and you said, yeah, he's part of a production company.
He's part of a production company that picks up these independent films and helps produce them and get them made and get them out there.
He's got a good eye.
And, yeah, one of them is Mandy, which was fantastic, and of course,
Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy, and the Color Out of Space is also part of that same production company. So yeah, fantastic film. That was a great top 5 actually, because it kind of made me think about some of the things we watched in 2021 and kind of brought back some of the this was kind of a good pick. This one was a good. We picked, I don't know, between the three of us, we picked a lot of great movies.
Yeah, we did have a good year this year.
There wasn't a lot of duds in 2021.
No. And even the ones that we didn't like, they weren't terrible. Like
No,
that,
they weren't horrible.
Like that one that we had a hard time because they didn't build the characters, but there was good parts of the movie. What was the Skinny Man? Not Skinny Man. What the fuck was it?
The Hollow Man.
The Hollow Man. That had a lot of good smaller parts to it. They just didn't tie them together well. Like that wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't what I
terrible at all.
expected. Yeah, it wasn't what I expected for sure.
No, it's like they executed poorly on a great idea.
Yeah.
And actually it started out great because remember at the beginning you were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all like he like goes into that cave and like gets all weird and then
and then they get to that bridge and like everyone gets killed.
Yeah.
It was like and then it just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah. But even that wasn't
Awesome.
terrible.
All right. Excellent. That was a great list. All right, now let's talk about the movie of the month. Who picked this movie?
I did.
Craig did.
Craig picked this movie. Okay, so the movie of the month.
Listen, again, I just threw a dart and hopefully it's stuck. And
Hey, sometimes you got to do that.
I do. I never watch a movie and then say, oh, it's good enough to bring to the day. I take my chances, and if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good.
All right, so movie of the month is The Deeper You Dig. This movie was released in 2019. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics give it 94%, and the audience gives it 56%.
Yes, there's a big difference between the critics and the audience.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
The Deeper You Dig, it's, let me just give you the summary of the movie here real quickly. It says, the aftermath of a roadside accident, the line between the living and the dead collapses for a mother, a daughter, and a stranger.
And that's what grabbed me. It sounded like a really, really good story. And
Yeah. Now, this movie is directed by John Adams, who happens to also be the main character in the movie, the man, the construction.
Oh,
man,
really?
right?
He was that guy who was like the main character. He was the director.
And his daughter
was
It's
the
his
girl.
real life daughter. That's
was
his
the
real life
girl,
daughter.
and she helped write it. I think she was.
Really?
And
Huh.
Toby Poser, the co-director, was the mom in
Yep.
in the movie.
Wow. So it was a really like farm to table project kind of.
Yeah.
Yes. And really, the cast consists of what?
Basically, those three people,
or
and
four people, yeah.
yeah,
There's a total of 12 people in that movie.
but it's mostly those three
Yeah.
for the most part.
Now, the interesting thing about this, I went to IMDb and I took a look and looked up the director, and it turns out he has another film that has been released exclusively to Shudder called Hellbender that just came out this year, and that also stars the same three people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I'm kind of interested in seeing that one. The trailer looked a little better. It seems like if you look at his, you know, his
Style?
list of movies that he made, they're all kind of a bunch of them are the horror films, and they all seem to do a little bit with witchcraft. So that's kind of interesting. I guess.
Yeah. So my thoughts in this movie were like, I thought there was some good things about it. Like there was some good cinematography. I thought he actually was a pretty good. He did a good job acting. That guy.
Yeah.
And the girl wasn't bad either. It's not my kind of movie. It was much more art housey than like all the like unnecessary close ups and the slow panning, and I thought that the soundtrack went well with the movie. Like I
The
thought
soundtrack was pretty good.
they did a
yeah.
really good job building the atmosphere for the movie. It just wasn't my kind of movie.
Yeah, and I found a similar problem with this movie that I've had with a couple of the other movies. When it comes to supernatural horror movies, it's a tough sell on me to bring ghosts and
Yeah.
hauntings. It's I like a lot of movies like that, but you got to work really hard to make me believe it.
I agree. I agree with that. Like
And this one didn't quite do that for me. Now there were some unsettling, kind of disturbing things that happen in the film. Some of the shots are kind of spooky, creepy. A lot of the background sounds.
yeah, I thought that was
Were
great.
very creepy. Like when he's doing work in the house after he, well, let's just say we're going to talk a little bit of spoilers because it's hard to really talk about this film without
Yeah.
spoiling it in some way. So if you haven't watched it and you want to, right now is the time to pause the podcast, go watch the film, and then hear what we have to say.
Yeah,
about it.
it's not a bad movie. It's just it wasn't my type. So
Now-
take that and go with it.
One of the things that threw me off, and I would imagine it's probably a budgetary reason,
Yes.
but one of the things I didn't like is after he kills the girl. Now, he hits her with the car. He's drunk. He doesn't want to get in trouble.
Right.
He thinks she's dead, throws her in the trunk, brings her back to the house, throws her in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Turns out she's alive.
That was one
And
of the
he
unsettling. I really liked. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And he figures, you know what? I'm not going to jail. I'm just going to fucking kill her.
Yeah.
Which was very fucked up and unsettling and very disturbing.
Yeah, because he choked her out, which and
Yeah.
like they show him like choking her out, like and she's
Oh,
fighting, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah. But the thing I didn't like is when he begins to see her ghost.
Yep.
They start out, it's her, great. Then they show her with her face partially decayed.
Yeah.
And then they go back to her face being normal. I was kind of excited because I thought, oh, this is going to be like, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Every time you see her, she'll
She's
be
like-
a little bit more decayed.
Right.
Yep.
But they just dropped that.
Yeah.
And worse yet, that scene, it was a great idea, but the visual effects were so poorly done.
The
It clearly
CGI
wasn't
in the movie was terrible. The
Yeah, it
practical
clearly
effects
wasn't
were
practical.
good. The practical
But the thing
effects
is that-
were good.
that scene wasn't practical.
No.
Like
No.
her face was CGI and it looked
Yeah.
like fucking garbage.
Yeah.
They could have done a great job with a little bit of practical effects, and they probably could have moved it forward as a theme, which is
Right.
what I was excited for. I'm like, hey, every time he sees her, she's going to be a little more decayed. That's
Yeah.
gonna be
Why they
fucking
went
awesome.
back and forth like that? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one time
and
like
that-
she was standing there and he threw, I don't know what the fuck it was, something at her, and it's sort of like, "Phew," like that was so bad. But like
Yeah,
I said,
the-
the
yeah.
practical
purple
effects
cloud
were
of
good. I
dust,
thought
yeah.
like when he was chopping her up and they showed the guts, all that practical stuff was really good.
Or-
but any
or
of the
every
CGI
time-
stuff was garbage. I thought.
Right. And like the practical effects, like when he had to dig her back up and try and bury
Yeah,
her deeper. Because
yeah.
like it was winter, so when he first dug her in the ground was frozen. He couldn't get her too deep. And then as the thaw came and things got slushy, like her hand and shit was hanging
Yeah.
out of the ground. So he had to dig deeper and he cut the plastic off of her and like chopped her up and put her in deeper. And
Then
that
he
was
threw it
great.
as well.
Yeah. It was all like I said, interesting story,
Yeah.
poorly executed.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think my other big thing was like the end where you figure out what happens in the end. They gave you like one small part when she's reading through
Yes.
the books and stuff like that
Yes.
of what happened. And like, okay, wait a minute. So that's her now? Like that's her? Like
Yeah.
she took over his body? Like that's what you were trying to tell me 45 minutes ago when you
Yeah,
briefly
and
read through that weird ass like spell or whatever?
there was that part. Like I was like, what? What
Yeah.
the fuck just happened? And there were a couple points in the movie where also like, I think they tried to build suspense by making it kind of a slow burn, but it didn't pay off. Like
No.
the slow burn kept going, and I'm like, all right, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off.
That's what I was waiting on. I was waiting for the big reveal at the end, which it was a twist, but it was I don't know, it was a reach.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was disappointing, to say the least. I mean, obviously, not to knock anybody's work. Like, obviously, they put some effort into
There were
this
some
thing.
good parts to this movie.
The story was a great idea.
I thought he was a great actor. The cinematography was really good. The soundtrack was done well.
There were some very creepy elements, and like a guy moves in from out of town. He's going to be working on this house. He's going to flip it and sell it. You know, as he's tearing the house down, and the mom comes over and like, "Did you see my daughter? Hey, we used to hang out here and get drunk. I bet you had a ton of beer cans to clean up and shit." And then he starts hearing like the weird noises.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, because the girl's now haunting him or whatever. I was really excited for like some big payoff that just never felt
Yep.
Yeah.
gratifying at all. Like,
Yeah.
when you got to the end, there was no real gratification. It was you know, kind of like you banging your girlfriend and going limp halfway through and like, all right,
hey, sorry.
I'm never gonna
Yeah,
finish.
I'm
I'm sorry.
You should probably just go now.
Yeah, but I mean, really, as a bad comparison, but yeah, that's how I kind of felt watching this movie. And even at the end, once the credits were rolling, I'm like, that's it then.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah, Mike. So that's it. So she now inhabits that guy's body,
And that's it. That's where we're at now.
and her her mom can hang out again.
And drink their hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Made it just like you like it, right?
it wasn't, you know, like I said,
And I'll watch the one you mentioned, the
Hellbender.
not
Hellbender.
Hellbender. I'll check it out. Like it wasn't terrible. Like
and it's a Shudder exclusive. Another reason to buy Shudder.
nice.
Yeah. So all in all, that movie, you know, bleh.
Sorry to start the year off. But hey, like I said, I don't pre-watch any of these movies, and we have to watch movies like this, and you know what I mean? We have to
Hey,
give our honest
I don't think it was
opinion.
as bad as All the Devils Are Here.
No, but
Not at all. Not at all. I think out of all the movies we have ever reviewed, All the Devils Are Here was really the biggest pile of shit that we've ever watched. I mean, we've seen some stinkers, and there's been some wildly crazy ones. Like, Who's Watching Oliver will never leave my mind. Like, I will never forget some of those scenes. They're permanently burned in there. Yeah.
Mama. That crazy old bat.
Yeah, and like there's plenty of scenes, you know, from that I'll never forget. And we did watch a couple duds, but yeah, All the Devils Are Here is going to be forever, infamously, the worst movie that we've seen or reviewed. But overall, like this one, you know, if you like those kinds of movies, you like the psychological ghost
And
things.
it was a bit more on the artsy side.
Right.
They tried to like play with the thoughts of like your loss and regret. Like his whole big thing was regret for the stuff he did, and her mom. It was a lot of symbolism, I think, in the movie as well.
Yes. And the mom was like a psychic previously, and you know she had a psychic friend and went to visit him, and then she's like trying to get back into it, and she's fucking with the tarot cards and trying to contact the spirit of her daughter. And then the scenes where she's like, after she goes to see the psychic and talks about the 7 gates and the daughter trying to reach out to her from the dead. Those scenes were like she's underwater.
Yeah.
Or like those things got fucking weird, and I was like, what are they trying to get to? Like, what is this? What is this going to lead to? That part was very weird for me.
Yeah.
It almost like didn't make sense in the storyline. It was weird. And then the scene too, where like the guy was then like, you know, telling the girl like get the fuck out of my head or I'll kill your fucking mother too.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. I was like, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. Actually, I don't think I know anyone that would want to watch this movie, and they would
I'm with
probably
you.
hate me for telling them to watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I know
Um,
anyone that would watch it either.
So out of 4 stars, I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
Yeah, I was gonna go 2.
Yeah, I'll say 2.
So we'll give it a American Nightmare podcast 2 stars.
It's down there with some of the greats.
We haven't given anything 1 or under yet, though.
No.
You know what we have to do? What we have to do is maybe we'll do an episode, and we'll let our listeners let us know if they think this is a good idea. Either tell us on Facebook or tell us through email, feedback at the American Nightmare.com website. Contact us through that feedback site and let us know, should we do like the biggest stinker award? I'm thinking we should do like some sort of award. Like, since we like to rate things and we give things these stars, should we pick out at the end of the year the horror movie that we hated the most, or the horror movie we think really was a good, like kind of like the what's that
Bottom
award
5.
that they do, like the Razzies, like for
Yeah.
shitty movies.
Yeah.
We got to do something like that. We offer up our worst horror movie of the year or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I think this one would be right in there for
And we could have, two people like feedback if they want to debate and they actually watch it and think it's good.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's
We
another
could
idea
do
too.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that too,
Well, one of the great features now for all the listeners listening in right now, we're using some new software for our podcast. We're testing it out.
Riverside, motherfucker.
One of the features that this has in is the ability to have a call-in, where people can call in if we do a live stream. And we also have the ability to bring in guests momentarily, so we can have people connect momentarily, give a little feedback, and then disconnect them. Or
Oh, cool.
We can also do audio-only call-in, so people... Once I get that worked out, I think we should discuss the possibility of what do you guys think about live streams. And our listeners, give us some feedback. We're thinking, what are the possibilities? Would you like to watch us on Twitch? Would you like to watch us on Facebook? Would you like to watch us on YouTube?
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I doubt that they're going to
don't
want to
think you
see
do.
our faces on there, because I've got a face that's not for TV.
Same here.
Only Mama would love.
But it's one of those things. We got to come up with some ideas. We need more listeners, damn it.
Yeah, I don't think showing our faces is the way to go.
That might scare some of the listeners away. Yes.
I think doing once in a while, doing like a live one would be fun. Not all the time, but once in a while would be fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a round of applause or something. Thank you. Thank you.
Too kind. You're too
Thank
kind.
you.
Too kind.
You're way too kind. Way too kind. I'm sorry. Way too kind. Thank you. We really appreciate our listeners. All right. So, so we're going to wrap this up. Let me just get my little wrap sheet here. Hold on. I don't know why I closed this. So as always, I'd like to thank all of you, the listeners, for listening to the American Nightmare podcast. We do this really for our own entertainment, but we're glad that you're here to listen, and we want you to contribute. If you have any suggestions for future podcast ideas, general feedback, ideas for top 5 lists, or movies that you think we should review, you can email us at feedback@the-american-nightmare.com, or visit us on our website, the-american-nightmare.com, and click the feedback link, or go to Facebook and see our Facebook group, and you can contact us there. We also want to thank our, give some credit to Ethan Masixel, who does our opening music track. We're using that part of Creative Commons. That is Thor's Hammer. It's a great guitar track that sounds awesome. We're using that as our intro music. And again, reach out to us on Facebook. Reach out to us on our website. Also, I know I've mentioned it before. If you follow us on Facebook, we are now part of the Facebook podcast, so you can subscribe and listen to our podcast on Facebook if you'd like. We're also available on Stitcher. We're available on Spotify.
Tinder.
We're available on Apple. We're available on Google Podcasts, all that crap.
Not Tinder.
Not Tinder. Maybe Tinder. Does Tinder do live stream? Maybe we could live stream on OkCupid or Plenty of Fish.
That'd be funny.
All right, everyone. So until next time, we'll see you next month. And thank you for listening.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Happy New Year.